So good afternoon again, and welcome to those of you attending. This is our fourth or fifth mentor session of the year, and we do have Kira and Casey presenting on balancing concurrent enrollment classes with BSO classes, and that was actually a requested topic. So hopefully it's one that you guys find meaningful. I'm Mrs. Nedved. I'm one of the high school math teachers here at Branson, and I organize these sessions. They will continue throughout next semester. Monthly is the plan. So if you have any interest in either A, presenting, or B, suggesting a topic you'd like to see, please let me know. I don't have anything at this time lined up for the upcoming semester, but I would be happy to put that into place or make it, find presenters that match a topic, or if you have something specific you'd like to present on, we can definitely make that happen. I just quickly, before I turn it over to the girls to present, wanted to go over a couple of things about extra credit. So you are eligible for extra credit in the class of your choice for attending, just a little bit of motivation. However, we have given the stipulation that it is only once per class. So you can't be like, okay, I attended all 4 mentor sessions. I want all my extra credit in math. And we would like you to only use 1 extra credit opportunity per class. And just so that we're not, overloading one class. And then the amount of extra credit will just depend on the teacher, specifically because different teachers grade with different scales. And so 10 points in my class is like a homework assignment, but if you have Mrs. Buxton, a homework assignment is 100 points. So that's why we don't put a number on it. We just leave it up to teacher discretion. So in order to earn that extra credit, after the presentation is over, email the teacher that you want the extra credit in. So you don't have to email me unless it's my class, but email the teacher you want it in. Let them know that you attended today's mentor session, and then we have a master copy that us teachers have access to. We'll just mark you off once you've attended or once you've used the extra credit. So that's how we kind of keep track of it. So you don't need to email me. If you have questions, you're not sure how to do it, you're certainly welcome to email me, but that teacher that you want the extra credit in is actually where that email will go. So any questions about the extra credit before we go ahead and get started? Stephanie, I see your hand raised. Would you like me to unmute you? Go ahead and type. All right, let's hear. What can I do for you, Stephanie?
So I have attended a bunch of extra credit ones, but I have never used them. So I was wondering if you keep track of how many I attended, because I don't remember do I need to tell them the name of the class, or how is it?
A good question. Yeah, so we did say that there isn't really an expiration date within the semester. So I do want you to use any sessions you attended this semester need to be used this semester. So what you don't need to necessarily say the name of it. You could, but if you just remember the month. So we did 1 per month. Let's say for example you wanted to use some. In math, you would email your math teacher, say, I'd like to use my extra credit from attending the November mentor session in math. I'd like to use my extra credit for the October session in science, or however you want to split it up. Just let them know the month that you're using it for. If you're not sure which months you attended, just go ahead and email me, and I can let you know. I can look at the master copy and see which sessions I have you at.
Okay, so I email you on Melissa Nevada, right?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to go ahead and I'll just type my address into my email address into the chat box. So this should go to all of you. mnedved at Branson School Online. It's also in the email with the invitation to the mentor session. And then I can let you know which classes you've been to or which sessions you've been to. I can also let you know which sessions you've used extra credit for in already. So if you are not sure if you have extra credit, just email me and I can let you know that as well. Good questions.
Oh,
and
okay,
then Yasmin,
thank you.
You're welcome. Yasmin, yes, you email that teacher directly. So you don't need to email me unless you want it in geometry. But other than that, email the teacher directly. You attended the December mentor session. You'd like to use your extra credit in that class. Good clarification questions. Any other questions before we turn it over to our presenters? If you would like to be unmuted, you can raise your hand if that's faster for you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll turn it over. Casey and Kira, if you guys wouldn't mind, by introducing yourselves first, letting us know kind of what grade you're in, how long you've been at Branson, and how long you've been doing concurrent enrollment. I think that will be beneficial for us to know. And go ahead and take it away.
Hello, I'm Kara McCone. I'm in 11th grade. I've been at Branson since kindergarten, and I've been doing concurrent enrollment since 9th grade.
Hey, I'm Casey Bender. This is my 6th year at Branson. I've been here since 7th grade, and I'm now a senior. I have been in current enrollment since the first semester of my junior year.
Great, thanks ladies. Go ahead and start your presentation. Attendees, if you have questions throughout, you're welcome to just type them in the questions box. And then at the end, we'll wrap up and we'll go over any questions that you guys have, or we can also unmute and go over questions that way too. So thanks, girls.
Okay, Kara, if you want to change the slide, I can go ahead and start.
Okay.
Okay, so we wanted to start with just a couple quick guidelines for starting out in concurrent enrollment. Some of you guys might already know this, some of you guys might already be in concurrent enrollment, and some of you might be trying to decide whether you want to do it or not. So we just decided to come up with a couple little things real quick to make sure that you knew, and then teachers and counselors can obviously tell you much more detail on concurrent enrollment. But we found out that the state pays up for up to 8 credits in concurrent enrollment classes each semester. And these classes will also count for corresponding high school credits, kind of a no-brainer in the way it should, but that way you guys know that when you take a math class for college, it counts as your math class for high school too, so that you don't have to double up on those credits. It's really easy and really so also make sure that your counselors fully know your plans, both high school counselors and college counselors, because you're kind of gonna have to go back and forth between them to get papers signed and stuff for concurrent enrollment. Make all of them fully know your plans, but also do your own research first. That can kind of help them out, speed the process up with them a little bit, and especially a big deal when you're transferring classes. Like if you're taking classes at a junior college concurrently, but you plan to go a 4-year after you finish high school, then you're going to want to make sure that all of your college classes are going to transfer to that 4-year that you ultimately want to go to. So one way to do that is to find your own transferring site. Sometimes looking through course descriptions can tell you what's going to transfer and what's not going to. And sometimes you can find things that take the counselor just as long to go sort through and find, because sometimes they don't have the connections with that next school to be able to quickly set you up with that. So sometimes you can find things that they might not even know yet, and kind of the back and forth on that can keep you from slowing down your process if you kind of do your own homework too. It helps them out. And I also want to say that graduating early and or joining the Ascent program are great ideas. You can graduate a little bit early if you're ahead on credits. I have been ahead on credits for a little while, but I'm actually not planning on graduating early. It just didn't work out quite right for me. I kind of wish I would have gotten to do that. And then you can also join the Ascent program, whether that's like your second semester of your senior year, or however, when you graduate early, or what would technically be your freshman year of college. You join the Ascent program, which counts you as a 5th-year senior, but makes sure that basically all your credits are paid for and you're an acting college student. It's pretty nice. It's like a scholarship for your whole first year. And I don't know quite all the details on that. I might be a little bit off on some of those. That's something to definitely ask your teacher about, but I kind of want to tell you guys was available. Second semester seniors at BSO also do not have 6 classes. You only have to take what is required for you to graduate. So that's kind of a perk that I still get to have, because next semester I won't have to take 6 classes anymore. So that'll kind of free me up to take a couple concurrent classes and a couple other classes that I still need to finish up, and then because I'll actually only have 1 high school class, and then I'll have the rest of the time to work and focus on preparing for college. So that's kind of nice.
And so when you do concurrent enrollment, if you're actually going to a campus, you'll need to plan everything out, your commute time, your time in class, time for high school, all of that. So make sure you know how far away the community college you're taking classes at is. Make yourself a schedule, organizing all your class times, stuff you want to do for family, work, sports, everything in your schedule. And you'll have to change up your habits a little bit to have time for everything. This semester, I had to get up at 5:30 every morning to read geology text, so I had time later for things I wanted to do. And if you don't want to have a commute, there's community colleges of Colorado online, which is what I do, so I don't have to worry about commute.
Okay, so scheduling. Scheduling's kind of a big deal of the whole PowerPoint here with balancing the coursework. So one thing to keep in mind when you are scheduling your concurrent enrollment classes for the next semester, because you schedule them out the semester ahead of time so that you know what you're taking, your college deadlines and everything else. At that time, you likely won't know all of your Branson times for the next semester. Sometimes those change, but you can pretty much always guess that a lot of them are in the morning unless they're an elective. Sometimes there's like a science with Mrs. Buxton that's in the afternoon or something, but it's all kind of early afternoon. You can kind of guess at what days those are. Like math is usually Monday, and English is usually on Tuesday, and science on Wednesday, and all your social studies and history would probably be on Thursday, that kind of idea. But know that your morning classes kind of tend to overlap these. Like if you are physically going, like me, I live in Colorado, Northeastern Junior College, or I live near Sterling, Colorado. Northeastern Junior College is about 20 minutes away from me. So going there, I know that my morning college classes tend to overlap my DIs. Branson teachers are really good about letting you watch the recordings and send the notes off of those for your DIs if you have to miss those, because obviously your concurrent classes kind of take precedence there, and that's okay. But make sure that you kind of realize that with your scheduling, and also look at what teachers you might want for each concurrent class, because concurrent classes can vary based upon what teacher actually teaches them. There might be 3 different teachers for one class, but if you want one, you want to make sure that that class time is going to work for you with all of your other concurrent classes and with your BS classes. Kind of a little thing to keep in mind, but keep in mind too, morning versus evening people scheduling. If you are a morning person like I am, welcome to this small club of morning people. And I like to get up early and I like things done in the morning. By evening, my brain shuts off. So I definitely like morning classes. I like getting up early and getting things done before I hit that point where I am not wanting to do work anymore. Some people are the total opposite of that, and their brains get quicker and the brains get brighter as they go on towards evening. And sometimes there'll be evening class labs or for concurrent class or evening something for that, and that'd be an option for you. Also with scheduling, make sure that you either get a paper calendar or put reminders in your phones or make a master list of assignments and to-dos, because you're going to have a lot to schedule with this, and sometimes doing all of those things at once is also a good idea. It kind of depends on what works for you, on how much scheduling you need. You can make yourself as detailed of a list as you need for that master list. Like me, I love to use OneNote, so I put like absolutely everything in OneNote. I have a whole page on a notebook in OneNote where I lay out all of my BSO classes that I need to do for the week, and all of my concurrent stuff that's due that week, and reminders of study sessions to go to, reminders of classes to go to. Kind of everything that I want to do lately, I put on there so that I can make sure that I'm checking on everything and I don't miss anything. If you need to know exactly what assignments to do each day, some people like to lay out like, oh, I have 5 assignments to do today and I'm going to do them in this order. or like I'm going to do English for an hour or math for an hour. Some people are very rigid like that. Sometimes I am not. So I kind of need fluidity, and I have to check my master list constantly to make sure I get everything done, because sometimes I'll work on math for a little while and then I need a break, so I need to go work on something else so that I don't get burnt out. So scheduling is kind of up to you, but you got to make sure that you do stay on top of things.
And don't overload yourself. And do not take a bunch of tough college and high school classes all at once. You'll have issues trying to fit everything in. And you still have high school work to do, things to do with your family. So, if you feel like you'd only have room for college chemistry, just do that. Or you can take 2 less demanding classes like English composition and psychology, sort of like that. And then cut down extracurricular activities that overload you or are stressing you out. And keep your priorities in check. Schoolwork, family time, sports. And make sure you do have time to do things you like to do.
And with that, make sure that you take advantage of help so that you don't get burnt out. For tough classes like chemistry, which I'm taking this semester, so I have experience with that. Whether you're struggling or not, it's wise to take the extra time to attend an evening help session or afternoon help session, or to go in office hours early in the morning, or whatever you need to do in order to get some extra help. Even if you don't think you need it, the results may surprise you. It may help you out a lot and clarify something that you didn't even know you needed help on. So it's kind of wise to take advantage of that, even though you may not feel like it sometimes. I have certainly felt that way with living quite a ways away from NJC and spending time going to evening sessions, but it's helped me out. So for classes with lots of writing, on the other hand, like English comp or something else like that, seek out the teacher's help and or tutors as well. I mean, tutors are a great idea for absolutely everything for chemistry and everything else, especially when you have great ones at the college. But seeking out the teacher's help is always a good idea too, because you kind of know, you get to know how their brain works, and they get to explain to you how their brain works sometimes. And they usually, English teachers are very helpful with helping proofread things for you. They love to do that. If you are going to basically be able to take advantage of that, and you're going to be having the initiative to go take advantage of their help, they're going to be happy to help you. So finding others, finding tutors, and finding teachers who can proofread your stuff is a very great idea for those classes. Like I said, you can always ask a teacher to review a draft of a written assignment, even if it's not for an English class or something that requires a ton of writing, because they're usually willing to do that. Also, if there's an activity outside of school that you can decrease your workload in, you may have to do this every once in a while when you get into a busy swing, or when you get to finals or something else for your college classes. You may have to decrease just a little bit, like maybe having to skip a 4-H meeting, or cut down a little bit on sports practice while you're during an off season, or having your siblings help out a little bit with some household chores, especially if you've got commuter time like I do. It's kind of a team effort, and if they're willing to do it, I would definitely take advantage of their help, because it's very nice to be able to free up just a couple more minutes so that you can get something else done.
Now, another example of something you could have a teacher review for you. I just finished up a geology class where I had to make infographics every 3 weeks, and so I get them done before the due date and email them to my professor so that she could be sure that I have what the assignment was asking for. the balance can be very delicate, but it is so worth it. Colleges and scholarships like to see that you're hardworking and can handle being more advanced and taking college classes in high school. And part of your college is already paid for when you take these classes. It doesn't matter if it's just a couple classes, half an associate's degree, a whole associate's degree. It's already paid for, something you don't have to worry about. And if you're stressed a little about going to college, if you do an associate's degree, you've already gotten half a bachelor's degree. So, and taking smaller college classes can help you feel ready for larger ones. Definitely the case with the trig class I took. I'm feeling a little more comfortable going on to pre-calc and calculus. In senior year, if you've been hardworking, is actually more stressful for some students. If you can handle concurrent enrollment classes now, transitioning to just taking college classes will be a smaller step than high school completely to college.
Okay, so some final perks to concurrent enrollment. These can help you gain a little extra responsibility and independence. You're taking on a whole new level of coursework. It's kind of a whole new mindset in some ways, and it's kind of nice to have that, even though it does come with some extra responsibility, and it might come with some extra independence too, because if you're like me, you're commuting, or you're in charge of doing your own schedule, and so it gives you a little extra independence, even though it comes with responsibility. But I mean, taking that on is really not a bad thing. Concurrent classes can help you decide what it is that you want to major in, and what you want to work in, and where you want to go to college next. So if you're taking at a junior college, you can decide if you want to continue to go there afterwards if you have finished your degree, or if you want to go ahead and just transfer to a 4-year and go on with that. It can also help you decide like what you want to major in or what field you want to work in. If you take a couple classes of a certain major and realize, oh, I really don't like this, that's kind of a good safe space to do it now. Classes, provided you do fairly well in them, are going to be paid for. That way you know, oh, I really don't like that. Before I go to a bigger college and have to pay more money, then I can go ahead and switch what I want to do right now. That way I don't have to worry about that later. It can introduce you to new people for both large and small schools. Taking courses at a bigger college where you maybe don't know as many people can introduce you to some extra friends besides your Branson friends. It can also read with some old friends too, whether at a big college or a small college. Like Northeastern Junior College is fairly small. It's about half and half in-state, out-of-state kids, and a lot of the in-state kids are from this area. So a lot of people that I knew before are going there now, whether they're about my age or they're a little bit older, but now it's kind of like I've almost caught up to them because I'm in concurrent enrollment and I'm in the same classes that they are for the most part. So it can kind of mix up who you're friends with and give you a chance to meet some new people. So it will also give you some new teacher resources by having a whole new set of teachers at the same time as your Branson teachers. So these teachers can be, at the very least, a recommendation letter if needed to a college or for a scholarship or whatever else. But these teachers who are in college can also be among those who teach you the most. I mean, you're getting two sets of teachers at once, so it's kind of nice to be able to glean from everybody. And these teachers, whether you continue to have them in college if you stay there, or whether you just have them now, they can be great mentors to you, and they can definitely help you as you go on with your college and your scholarship and you in your future careers. So it's very nice.
And that concludes the presentation.
Excellent. Thank you, girls, so much. I think that was really informational and helpful even for me as a teacher. I don't have a lot of experience with concurrent enrollment, so that was great. So now will be a good time, if you girls don't mind, to take some questions from anyone. You can, like I said, go ahead and type them, or if you raise your hand, I'll just take that as your request to be unmuted, and I can unmute you. You can ask that way. I know it's a little bit easier sometimes that way. First, I did have a question just because, like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with it. For both you girls, in your experience, I feel like, Branson especially, teachers are pretty lenient with due dates, right? You get that grace period. Sometimes it's a whole quarter. Now we're down to about, 2 to 3 weeks. Do you see that same thing typically in your concurrent enrollment classes? Or for the most part, has your experience been that those deadlines are pretty hard set with concurrent enrollment and you have to get them done on time in order to get the credit? What's kind of been your experience that way?
Okay, those due dates are pretty hard set. There's only been one time when I've been able to get credit for something late in a college course, and that was a simple 2-page essay in my second semester of concurrent enrollment, and even that was docked a little.
Yeah, same thing here. Most of those are pretty hard set. Definitely get in the habit of getting your Branson classes in on time and working on your scheduling is a great idea to go into concurrent enrollment, because teachers definitely appreciate it if you're getting good grades because you have been turning things in. I've learned that some college kids are not as great at that, and so it kind of stands out to them. If you are getting things done on time, then that's kind of your job, and that's a good thing.
Awesome. Yeah, that was what I suspected, was that they're a little bit more strict on that. So I just kind of was curious as to your experiences. So we have a couple questions come in. Stephanie asks how to motivate yourself to wake up, and I think that means stay on schedule. So I guess tips on how either of you just motivate yourselves to get going in the morning, to stick to your schedule.
I definitely pick classes that you want to get up and do because they're fun to you. And I recommend picking one of your favorite songs as your alarm in the morning. So when you hear that song, you're all pumped up and ready to work.
Yeah, that's helpful. I'm a little bit of a morning person anyway, so once I get going about 5 minutes after I'm up, I'm okay and I'm ready to start the day, and I have more motivation in the morning. But at the same time, starting the morning right is definitely a great idea, because if you start your morning not being productive, you're not going to be productive the rest of the day usually. So yeah, kind of having a morning routine, and like Kira said, if you want to pick one of your favorite songs or something to listen to as you're getting ready or as you're getting up or as your alarm or something, that can help you, and kind of having a routine of stuff that you like in the morning and then getting classes that you like, that can kind of motivate you to work on stuff that you don't like as much.
Awesome. Yeah, I think those are some great pieces of advice. Another question, do jobs care about the university you went to? What do you guys think?
I'm sure some jobs will care, but from what I was told at my orientation, if you get your associate's degree at a community college and then transfer it all to, for me, it'd probably be Colorado School of Mines, there wouldn't be anything on my bachelor's degree saying half of it was earned at a community college. So they don't know. You just have to pick a four-year college that has some prestige, and people will want, and employers will want students from that school.
Yeah, that was a really good answer, because for me, wanting to go into a field of healthcare, ultimately thinking that I want to be a physical therapist. So for me, going through that, the college that I go to, based upon the location where I want to work, it usually does kind of depend on your college. I mean, obviously, I don't know quite what kind of location I want to work in yet, where I might end up after college. But I do know that the college that I want to go to, it's in California, but it's actually near LA. So there's a lot of medical care positions that open up for students in college that are open because they are from that college, and that college reputation of having students who are bright and are hard workers. So it can really help.
Awesome. Yeah, and I did just kind of want to note my experience with that, I guess, was a little bit different, but I also did not do high school or college in Colorado. I'm from South Dakota, and we had a similar program. It wasn't called concurrent enrollment, but I did get like 20 credits from the local university when I was in high school. When I graduated high school and went to college, they did show up on my transcript as being from that college. So that might just be a South Dakota thing. I'm not entirely certain. That would be a good question, too, for counselors. I think they would know exactly how that works. But for me, it was that the local college that I got my, dual credit through also did show up on my official transcript. It just said Dakota Wesleyan next to it, but it was a South Dakota State University transcript. So that may be something that's worth checking on, and it might be different from school to school. But otherwise, yeah, those are some great answers, girls. Next question. How do you figure out how to balance your schedule so you don't get frustrated and have a meltdown when you're halfway through the week? Question.
As the presentation said, don't overload yourself. If you don't think you'll have time for some extracurricular activity you want to do, it's better for you not to do it, so you have more time for things you need to do, and you don't feel all stressed trying to balance everything.
Yeah, I've had to become a prioritizer. Like, due dates are what get done first for the most part. I mean, there are days everybody does not want to do that, but for the most part, that's what you focus on, is what absolutely has to be done first. You do that first, and then if you have time to do other things, you go ahead and do other things, but you've got to make sure that what you need to do is done first. So if you need to do things out by days, like, oh, this assignment is due 2 days from now, I'm going to finish it 2 days before due date and make sure everything I need to do for this day is done, and then I can go do something else. That way I don't have a meltdown the rest of the week. And that's a good idea, because I've been there with the meltdowns every once in a while because I didn't do a schedule. So those are helpful.
Definitely. And in my experience, just as a homeroom teacher working with students who've done concurrent enrollment, just like Kira said, you both girls have said, don't overload it. So if you're interested in trying it, give yourself maybe just one class the first semester and see what it's like, or maybe, not a core class, maybe an elective type class. So you can really ease into it. I think that helps a lot, because there is a huge difference between what the college courses are going to look like and what your Branson School, courses look like. So give yourself plenty of that time.
And yeah, I agree. Definitely start with more humanities and English type. My first concurrent enrollment semester was like cultural anthropology and English composition 1, which were very easy. But then this past spring, I did world mythology and physical geology, which was harder. And then this semester I did trig and historical geology, which was a lot more effort.
Yeah, so just kind of easing yourself in. Awesome. Any other questions before we wrap up today? As I mentioned, I did record it, so if you're interested in having the recording, email me. And again, I had my email sent out. It's also in the invite to the mentor session. Email me, ask me for that recording, and as soon as I get it converted into an online format, I will send that out. Okay, thanks, Jaden. Email me instead of just putting it in the questions box, just because I forget what comes in the questions box. And emails I'll definitely answer. One quick reminder on the for the extra credit, remember, email that teacher that you want the credit to be used in. You don't necessarily have to email me, email that teacher. If you're not sure if you have extra credit opportunities or if you attended previous sessions, which ones you attended, email those questions to me, or really you could email them to any teacher. We all have access to the same document and we can double check. Yep, Alyssa, I totally agree. All right, well, I have everyone down for attendance, so everyone should be marked off, and I'll just for extra credit. Thank you, everyone, for coming. A huge thank you to Kara and Casey. You guys did wonderful advice. I think you did a great job presenting, and hopefully you guys got some good information out of it. I know I did, and I so appreciate everyone coming. Have a wonderful winter break, and we will resume our mentor sessions in January. Please let me know if you are interested in either presenting or if there's a topic you'd like to see, and we can find presenters to match that. I am running low on ideas for semester 2, so always helpful to have those. So thanks again. Have a great one.